Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It is Thursday evening and it is rather warm here. And I am absolutely exhausted. Not that I've done anything in particular, but as Patrick said, it's probably the heat. As we all know, I am not very good in the heat. Thankfully, tomorrow I am working from home. So I will be upstairs with the Velux window open and the attic hatch open to let the rising heat go through. I also have Mum and Dad's old Dyson fan heater. Well, it's not a fan, the ovally things. Mum and Dad had one of them, which I have kept, and it has a cool setting, so we'll have that on. So we should be good. The reason we're working from home is basically the heat. The boss is away for the day anyway. My colleague normally works from home on a Friday, so the boss said, well, there's not much point in you being here by yourself when there's no cooling in the office apart from opening a window. I know you've got stuff at home. So it's like, yeah, I'll work at home. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I have put an Asda order in for a load of chicken and stuff because I want to get pressure canning done this weekend. But one of the things that I was thinking of, it's the things as the best laid plans, and I'm not actually talking about my plans here. I know, because I have many, many best laid plans. But I was reading a couple of articles, headlines, whatever, and seemingly in Scotland, the government have decided that for our net zero targets, whatever, we're going to have to stop putting as much in landfill. But we do not have the infrastructure, because what they were thinking is we would do the incineration to make energy type thing, or the doing processing to make energy. I don't know how it works. But seemingly we were going to be doing that, but seemingly we don't have the infrastructure. So the big headline was that we're going to be trucking hundreds of trucks worth of black bin bags down to England to get buried in landfill so that we don't go over our target. And you're like, what's the point in that? We're an island that's supposed to be, net zero for everyone. It's a bit pathetic if, we can't do that, so we're going to ship the stuff to England. It's also a bit pathetic, England saying, oh, we've got all this renewable energy, when actually most of it's in Scotland. And you could go on like that forever, not just with Scotland and England, but with like Europe, with the different countries there. But what it did make me think was how much am I actually doing of the recycling and making sure that there is as little as possible going into landfill. So yeah, that's a little thought that I've had. And why I was saying best laid plans, I seem to remember all this. There was the tax breaks or whatever if you bought diesel cars, because they were supposed to be better than petrol cars. But now they're bad again. And electric was good. And I remember reading the story about the guy in Edinburgh. He lived outside Edinburgh, went to a restaurant. It was raining. And the car died, the battery died. And whatever the electric car company was, I don't know for sure, I can't remember. But they were like, well, you obviously drowned it. And he's like, I drove in Scotland, behave. But no, seemingly that didn't work. And you're like, so they're promoting all these electric cars, but they don't work very well in rainy climates. What can I say? And Kathleen was saying when I was telling her this, she was like, yeah, there was one where it shut down because the guy put it through a car wash, and seemingly to put it in a car wash, you've got to put it into car wash mode and things like that. So yeah, best laid plans will go awry, there's nothing surer. But it has made me quite conscious of, I really need to make sure that I separate all the stuff for my bins, because we have a bin for food waste that the council makes into compost It does that thing that it does. We have a plastic and metal bin for the recycling, and we have a paper and cardboard bin. And I'm really good at separating the plastic and the cardboard. The food, not so much. So I need to start doing that. I stopped doing that as much because we have little bins that the council gave us. Maybe about, like a big ice cream tub kind of size. But my food waste wasn't enough. And of course, it was like, oh yeah, that doesn't need emptied yet. Oh yeah, that doesn't need emptied yet. Oh yeah, it does. So I stopped using it and just carry stuff out to the big bin now. Obviously, sometimes I don't. I'll admit that. So I need to get back into the habit of doing things properly. Because no doubt, if there's going to be this crackdown on landfill, our bins will be getting checked, we'll be getting fined or whatever. I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying that more than likely will probably happen, to try and cut the number of, or the amount of stuff going into landfill. So yeah, that's my thought for this evening. So I'm going to go and sit and have a cup of tea, keep my fluids up. It's supposed to be horrifically hot here tomorrow, much, much worse down south. So wherever you are, if you're in the UK, it's going to be a hot one. Take care of yourself, keep as cool as possible, drink the fluids, do the sunscreen, etc., etc. We all know the drill. So yeah, take care of yourself. Catch you later.